this is Perry Station number 1. This is the headquarters for the Perry Joint Fire District. Perry covers 26 square miles of coverage area. This covers everything north of the tracks, including Lake Erie, and the Grand River. So we'll come on in and we'll take you for a quick tour of our station here. So, coming in here, this is our foyer area or lobby, whatever you want to call it. You are always greeted by our secretary during business hours, Secretary Barb. She's in there. She's working hard. We have t-shirts for sale, which is pretty cool. And then something behind you, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but this is pretty cool to carry that we have.
It's our 9/11 Memorial Remembrance area. Back on September 11, 2001, 3 members of our department and one of our fire board members loaded up an ambulance with supplies and actually headed off to New York City to help out the best they could. So we have a bunch of their photographs throughout here of their trip, their time in New York, and just a lot of some other memorabilia, some actual steel from the World Trade Center site itself.
We'll take you inside.
You come on inside this door here.
Yeah. So then, obviously in here, we have all of our firefighters on the wall. This is where you'll be greeted if you come in by the firefighters or the chief or the captain. The station's kind of broken up in a cool way. It's kind of like a big circle or square, whatever you want to call it. This is our administrative wing. So this is where all of our administrators are. Where meetings are held. On top of that, we have public restrooms for the public. We'll start. So coming into here is the firefighters' quarters. Perry is staffed 24 hours. This station usually has anywhere from 3 to 6 firefighters at any given time. It's staffed 24 hours a day with paramedics as well, so it's an all ALS service. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit. This is our kitchen, so kind of cool. We have 3 different fridges. There's 3 different shifts here. You have A, B, and C shift. So the 3 different shifts have their own fridge for their own stuff. Same with the cabinets over there, like they have their own pantries. This is kind of cool. The kitchen table, every firehouse meets here in the morning. It's kind of like the heart of the firehouse, which is pretty cool. So the kitchen table, there's a lot that's discussed here.
Solve all the world's problems.
Yeah. And then obviously the living room, the recliners. And fun fact, firefighters are not always sitting in the recliners. It's always something that's talked about. Out here on top of the nice summer days we have, when it is nice in the summertime, we can come out here, relax out here, maybe cook. We have a grill, which is pretty cool, stuff like that. It's pretty nice out here, so that's that. Firefighters like to hang out here, maybe do some training out here, and then we'll come back in. Coming down this hall, we kind of left our administrative wing. This is kind of the firefighters area, and here's our firefighter quarters, or bunks, whatever you want to call it. So at night, obviously each firefighter has their own bunk and living area that they can stay in and sleep in, which is pretty cool. And then moving down here, we have the firefighters' locker rooms and bathrooms, which is obviously essential. And then to your right, you have the officers' quarters, so that's where they sleep, and they have their locker room and stuff like that. So moving down the hallway, we have the patch wall, which is super cool. Whether departments trade with us or whatever, every fire department pretty much has a patch wall, which is pretty cool. So I'm very proud of the patch wall that we have. So again, we just made a big loop for the interior of the station. If that kind of makes sense. Walking out to the bays now. I'm going to turn it over to Firefighter Walsh because there's a lot to talk about out here.
To our left here, we have all our storage for our turnout gear, for our fire gear when we're not on duty. Keep it here, contained and off to the side. Up front here is our watch office, where we computers do all our emails, reports, everything. Everything's electronic nowadays, kept online. So everything is done on our computer. If we don't do it on the iPad on the ambulance, or we'll do a catch up on paperwork electronically here in the watch office. We have out to our bay, our garage space. We have 3 to 6 people working here. So we have 2 of us on the ambulance. We'll take 4 of us on the engine if it's a fire call, and then adjust as needed depending on what the calls are.
So this station's staffed all the time with paramedics, so it's an all advanced life support ambulance. So that can be from grandma falling to a bad injury accident that these guys can deal with, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of what our back of our ambulance looks like. We'll do a truck tour in the future for everyone.
Frontline engine 2013. We're ready, set up for just about anything. We get called out for just about anything, and so we gotta be able to deal with that. And so we have all our tools, a big toolbox on wheels, so that we can deal with any kind of emergency that comes our way.
And right behind you, obviously, we have firefighters training. We have a brush vehicle on a trailer that's always ready to go. And then on top of that, we talked about a little bit about the lake. We're on the north side of the tracks, which means we're super close to the lake. So we have a lake boat over there. Yeah, we walk over here. So this is not used for recovery operations, but it's used for rescue operations. So that means if someone's actively in distress, this boat can be able to be deployed out to the lake.
We work in conjunction with the Coast Guard a lot with it. So they have bigger, more stable boats, but we can get out there if we have to. We can get them out immediately available. And then here's our pickup truck, each station has a pickup truck that we utilize in a number of ways, primarily as what we call chase vehicle for EMS calls. We'll have 1 or 2 guys in that. If we need both of them or everybody to go to the hospital, we can lock this up on scene, leave it there, transport to the hospital, and come back and get that and come back to the station. But if we don't need all 3 or 4 of us going to the hospital, we can send a couple of guys back, and they will be ready for another call, whatever the next call may come in while their ambulance is at the hospital. So we also this one's also set up for brush fires. It's got a pump on it, tank, and some hose for brush fires. We use this in conjunction with our side-by-side on the trailer back there for brush fires, both in town and out of town. Other towns will call us because any fire, whether it's a house fire, business fire, brush fire, it's hard for everybody to handle, with just a few people on duty. So the more hands we have to help, the better, the quicker it goes out. So we help each other out all the time. And behind us here, we have our second out or backup ambulance. So if the other one's out and crews are still here, we'll take that if another call comes in, or if that ambulance is out for repairs or for routine maintenance like an oil change or getting new tires or something put on it, we'll run this ambulance with all the other ones in the garage. And a couple more vehicles behind you. We have our second out, a reserve engine there that's set up just like our primary engine. There's everything on it that we need, and it's just there as a backup. If we do have a fire in town, we recall people into the station. They can staff that if we get another calls or whatever. And then next to that, our big camper-looking thing is actually our public education trailer. We do a lot of public education with the school children in that, and community events and everything. We got that years ago on a grant. It's been a huge asset, a huge help to us in educating the public and teaching life and fire safety.
And then coming over here, back this way. In this room, here at Peary, in a lot of fire departments, it's a trade. Firefighting is a trade. So there's a lot of other firefighters that know different skills, whether that's auto mechanic stuff, auto body stuff, how to build something, which is pretty cool, which we'll kind of show you a shot. But we do a lot of in-house maintenance here, which is super important because the more we have our trucks here, they're going out to calls, they're ready to go. So taking a truck out of service is never really good. We have our own air compressed cylinder system here, so we can fill our own SCBA bottles, so those bottles firefighters wear on their backs, which is pretty cool. And then we just keep some extra EMS supplies in here, which is super important, so after a call we're not going back to the hospital or whatever it may be and getting more EMS supplies. We have it all in house. So and then we'll kind of walk back out here.
We have a large commercial grade washing machine, primarily used for our fire gear. After a fire, we come back, take it all apart, wash it. Very important for us, for our long-term career goal, career-wise and safety-wise, to wash our gear after fires. So that gets in here, spins at a real high speed, gets all the garbage out of the gear that gets picked up at a fire. That's cleaning supplies, and the supply of cleaning supplies.
And then we'll kind of walk back this way. Fitness is obviously super important in fire service. You have to stay fit. Cardio is super important. So both of our stations have really good gyms, and we'll kind of take you up and show you what that looks like. We have a good view of the station from up here too, which is super cool, so we can see all of our trucks and apparatus. This station's kind of cool that you can work out basically outside and you can work out basically inside, which is pretty cool too. So that's what it looks like on the inside. Obviously fitness is super important, so usually each member on each shift will try to work out at least once a day on their shift. And we'll take you back downstairs. Here, along with our other fire departments, are an all-hazard department, which is pretty cool. So anything, like we talked a little bit about water rescue, we talked about fires, we talked about EMS stuff. When those tones go off, you can call anywhere from a lockout, so maybe you got locked outside your car, to a major fire. Our engines are rescue engines, so we carry supplies or tools that can also extricate someone from a vehicle, which is super important. We spend a lot of time at the schools doing public education, which is super cool. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Each year we go through, in conjunction specifically with Public Fire Prevention Week. Historically it's been in October. We don't always make it there based off the school schedule in October, but every year we do make it to the schools. Kindergarten through third grade, I believe it is. Yeah, third grade. And we have less age-appropriate lessons for each of the grade levels. That's our main thing with the public education. But we also provide CPR training for citizens, and a lot of businesses over the years have asked us, and we've provided them with fire extinguisher training as well, so that if they do have an emergency and it's a small little fire, they can maybe take care of it before we get there.
So we'll kind of walk you back up front. That's our conference area. A lot of shifts we'll do drills and things like that. The camera lady has her stuff in here. But yeah, so typically each shift will do a drill, one drill during the day, or maybe even more than one. And sometimes it's a tabletop drill talking about different strategies or things like that. So we have a whiteboard and some tools in here that we can do that, or obviously it can be used as a meeting room. So walking back out here, thank you for joining us on our tour today. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, let us know. And
redesigned, our newly updated. If it's not live yet, it's going to be live very soon. Our website that we're in the process. They just finished updating that. So lots of information on there. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well. The Perry Joint Fire District. So you can find us there. And yeah, thanks for coming in.
yeah, we appreciate you.